Ina from Books and Boy Bands, and in this video, we're going to talk about all the books that I was able to read in February. Of course, like most readers out there, we love looking at the month that was and see what books we were able to read and share it with fellow book lovers in this community, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm very happy to share that I was able to read 10 books in the month of February, which is 3 more than my January reading. I'm on track on my Goodreads reading challenge at 17 books, and it's really worth celebrating. I also am very happy to share that I finally was able to branch out into other reading formats. I've been trying to branch out from listening to audiobooks, which is the only thing I could read because of work and other things in my personal life. But finally, I was able to finish 2 books on Kindle Unlimited. I'm very happy that this little baby here has a purpose again in life. Though ideally, I was wishing for more books to finish. I am trying to be more social in real life and spread my time like with family, with friends, and work. So I do spend less time reading now, but I kind of enjoy this type of balance in my life. And yeah, no regrets. I'm still really enjoying books, like my me time with reading as well, and fangirling too. So yeah, I'm still happy that I'm able to stay on track with my reading challenge. Hopefully, sometime in the future, I get to pick up on the momentum and read faster, or at least have more time to read. But anyway, yeah, I was able to finish 8 audiobooks and 2 ebooks through my Kindle. I have this physical book I started in January and still haven't finished yet because I put it aside for February, because it wasn't romance. So I'll be picking it up as my first book for March, and then finally we'll be able to finish a physical book. But anyway, no matter what format you enjoy reading, do you and enjoy. After all, these are just rules, and these are just things that I'm assigning myself as a challenge. But whatever reading format you enjoy, then just feel free to read the books that you want to read. Anyway, today, let's get back on track. I'll be sharing with you the contemporary romances that I was able to read for February, starting with the books I finished first up to my last read for February. So let's get started. The first book that I was able to finish in February is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. This is a debut novel by a Black author, and it's set in university. I think this book perfectly fits the subcategory of new adult. Our lead character in this book is named Kiki. She has a radio show called Brown Sugar, where she gives love advice to fellow students in that university. In her university radio show, she kind of gives dating tips and guides so that women in the university can avoid pesky heartaches. She has this academic goals that her counselor or her advisor guide asked her to launch this project to help her have better chances on the awards that she is eyeing and the future academic path that she is also wanting to make. And with that, she has to interact with this promising student as well. Unfortunately, this promising student is the guy she has been warning people about. So there's a lot of tension and kind of enemies, or at least rivals to lovers that you would experience in this book. All in all, I enjoyed the banter between the characters, and also the tension, and also the fake dating thing that would happen because of some circumstances in this book. So all in all, it was an adorable read, and it's a nice debut novel. I really enjoyed listening to it, so I gave it 4 stars. The next 3 books that I read in February belongs to a series. I almost finished the entire series, but Scribd regularly has its limits on like popular books or on series, so I was blocked to listen to the last one. So it is the Wolf Hotel series by K.A. Tucker. It's the first book is Tempt Me, second book Break Me, and the third book is Teach Me. So this is kind of a new adult read as well. It's kind of those billionaire romances that would remind you of 50 Shades of Grey, like in that type of genre. There's so basically there is this um girl who has been cheated on, and she wanted to spend some time out of her state for the summer before going back to college to help her move on and heal her heart. She's basically she and her partner, her then partner, were trying to stay pure and not engage in sexual relations until they get married. Unfortunately, the guy wasn't able to stick on that promise, and she really felt betrayed and they broke up. So she applied at this hotel in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken, in a way different place. And there she meets a guy on her first night, and she was drunk, so she was quite bold and vulgar in the words that she was using. The next day, it turns out that the guy is the owner of the hotel, Mr. Wolf. That's the Wolf Hotel. Similarly to other books in this genre, he awakens this sexual goddess in her, and this book is really filled with that content. And most of that content is hindering also the plot to push through. It's very dramatic and very reminiscent of the books that people read in 2015 to 2016 because it was actually published during that time. So it was a random pick for me. But again, it was nice to look back onto the things that I initially read when I was younger. So yeah, but all in all, there was a lot of drama, a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding. I know it's like not the best type of books to read if you want a worthwhile time, but I was in it for the drama. I was enjoying it all. Um, as the series progressed, I kind of felt bored already on the smut, all the extra scenes that I could have done with, as well as um the way the main characters handled the problems they encounter. Some of the decisions that they made weren't really um good ones and weren't really helpful for their relationship, kind of revenge things and all that. So my rating for the book went from 3 stars, and then the second book I really didn't like because there wasn't almost any interaction between the two characters, kind of like when New Moon and the Twilight series happened, they didn't really interact much. And um the girl really made some bad decisions that could just harm their relationship, so I wasn't really happy about it. And then the third book happened, and they kind of got together. They were better in communication at this point. So yeah, I raised it again to 3 stars. There's another book here. I was planning on listening to it either on script or read it in Kindle Unlimited, but I didn't have the time. So I was I left it at that. I still want to finish the series just so I could, close a chapter in my reading life. So yeah, there. The next book I read was On Rotation by Shirlene Obuobi. This is another debut novel, and it was pitched as a mix of Grey's Anatomy and 7 Days in June. I haven't read 7 Days in June, but I really am a diehard fan of Grey's Anatomy. So here we have Angela. She is from Ghana, and she's also American. So she is struggling with trying to meet her parents' expectations of her and be the perfect immigrant daughter. So she is enrolled in an elite med school, but she is on her way to residency and picking up a specialization. So it's a hard time for her at that moment. There's a lot of tests and examinations and proving herself to be a well-rounded doctor. Um, but aside from that, her family is also pressuring her to have this like top-notch boyfriend or husband in the future. Um, so it's been really, really hard for her. And at the start of the book, her current boyfriend, the ideal type of boyfriend, dumps her. She also didn't have a good performance on her medical exams. And she's also having troubles with her best friend. So there's a lot of drama revolving the characters. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of medical things in the book, which I was expecting. Um, but still, it's a really good character development study book. You really see Angela grow into a more mature person, into deciding on her own, like learning her boundaries within her family while still showing them how much she loves them, knowing her, um, and the learning how to take care of her relationship with her best friend and branching out and having more friends. And then on the romance aspect of this book, she meets Ricky. They really had an instant connection, but um, they were having trouble. Basically, in this book, it's like an on and off thing, especially with regards to commitment, and it's also an interracial relationship, so that might also have some trouble with her side of the family, as well as the career that Ricky is pursuing. It might not meet the um, qualifications set by her parents. So she's juggling all that while juggling her med school dreams, and that's everything that you would encounter in On Mutation. All in all, it was an adventure. It was a good read for me. I did like the story. At times though, the pacing kind of felt off. So with that reason in mind, I gave it 3 stars. The next book I finished was Twisted Love by Anna Wang, and this is the book I read on Kindle Unlimited. As a person who is regularly on Book Talk, I've seen the Twisted series floating around the internet like for 3 years or 2 years already. It really took Book Talk by storm, so I finally decided to read the books. Now, the first book, Twisted Love, is about Ava and Alex Volkov, one of like the super red flag but admired book boyfriends in the bookish community, especially in romance talk. And now I finally got the chance to meet him. He's very dark and broody, and Twisted Love actually I felt like wasn't just a romance book. It's actually very, very mysterious when I was reading it, because aside from the current story where Ava is left into like the guardianship of Alex because her brother Josh has to do a medical thing out of the country, and they had this sparks, they had this attraction, but brother's best friend isn't really um an ideal type of relationship, as well as Alex is known to be really closed off, really, really cold. He has a bad reputation. But that didn't stop Ava, from feeling things for him. And then while you are reading it, there are also parts of the chapter where you get to see the past of Ava. She has encountered a really dark tragedy when she was young, so it's also a part of the plot of this book. It has a lot of power on like the succession of Ava's development as a person and her relationship with Alex as well. So there's a lot of suspense and thrill in this book, not just romance and not just the steamy scenes. So, um, all in all, I really, really enjoyed the read, and um, it was an experience. I understand now why people go crazy over Alex, and why the Twisted series is well loved by many people. I gave it 4 stars because it was really an enjoyable read. The next book I was able to finish is American Royalty by Tracy Livesay or Livesay or Livesay. It's another black authored romance book. This one is a modern royalty thing, kind of reminiscent of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. This is about the prince and of Britain, I think, and a pop star or hip hop star called Duchess. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it? But yeah, it's perfect for those who are fans of like a Cinderella story, who also loves women empowerment stories, and is just a sucker for music related books. So it felt like it was perfect for me because I always like famous aspects in books, and this one really felt really fit that box. And our main character here, Duchess, was very, very brave in staying up for herself. And she is not only trying to establish a name for herself in the music industry, she is also building an empire on, if I'm not mistaken, skincare and makeup for women of color. And she was very passionate about it. She knew what she had to do, and she also fought for her rights on her current management or her current record label. But of course, we also have here an a hesitant royal, a reluctant royal. Our prince, Jameson, wasn't really interested in the spotlight of someone in the royal family. He was enjoying his life as a professor, but duty calls, and he has to organize this event, and that's where he met Duchess, and sparks really fly between them. I wasn't expecting a hot book, but it was really, really steamy. So if you're looking for spicy scenes, it's worth really picking up. All in all, I really love the story. I can imagine it as a movie or a series because of how amazing the writing was by this author. And it's really a fun adventure. I'm rooting for them. I think this is a series already. There's a continuation of the story of Duchess or and the prince now that their relationship is public. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I think that book will be out this year, 2020. The next book I was able to read is my first five-star read for February, and it's The Birthday List by Devney Perry. It's a really random pick I got on Scribd, and I'm very, very lucky to have it. Basically, our main character, I forgot the name already though. I just remember her surname, Mason. So, her husband passed away due to an incident that she kind of blames herself in because he was killed in a store robbery. So he was just like at the wrong place at the wrong time. And it was because of an errand she was asking him to do. So she kind of blames herself for his death. And her then husband has this birthday list, like things he wants to do, kind of like a bucket list, but things he wants to do per year, per birthday. And she wants to move on from her husband and from that experience, and she uses this birthday list as a way to slowly let him go, like to fulfill the things that he won't be able to do because he is no longer around. And here in the, I think it's 5 years later, where she meets a guy, I forgot the name as well. This hero that we have in the story was actually the policeman who told her about the incident. So they already share this traumatic experience, but when they met again, um sparks fly between them. They feel, uh especially on the hero's part, he really wanted to get to know her, and she also felt like giving that a try. So I don't know. I think that this book was really beautifully written in handling grief and taking chances in life, and then slowly falling in love again. Both characters are really, really easy to relate to and to fall for. And aside from the love and romance, there's also the investigation as well on the incident. So it also has a suspense and thrill parts. But all in all, I really loved it. I loved how it was written, and I loved where the story went and how the author handled the situation, even though it was quite emotional at times. So I gave The Birthday List 5 stars. Next, I also read a Filipino uh written romance. This is The Queen's Game by Carla de Guzman. It was really a quick read, and I was able to get its audio copy on Scribd. It's a really short book. It's the third royalty. It's a second royalty related book I was able to read this month, and it's about a princess on a fictional world, but it's very Filipino coded. And our Princess Nina um, was called home after an incident to prepare her for the crown. And there she meets a childhood friend, a prince of a neighboring kingdom, and both of them are heirs to the throne. So technically, they couldn't be in a relationship with each other, but um, Dina's side of the equation was asking her to be on a fake relationship with this prince just to generate buzz on her upcoming coronation and to clean up her name and clean up her reputation because she was quite the wild child. Uh, so yeah, in this book, of course, a childhood romance, the fake dating, they actually do fall for each other. So the main goal that they had is to um, help Nina rise to the throne, but at the same time, also pursue their relationship, find a way for their relationship to work, even though they have two kingdoms relying on each of them. So it was really sweet. It wasn't too much, there wasn't too much politics on the story, more on PR and also a very hot and steamy relationship between them. But all in all, I enjoyed it, even though it was a quick read. Um, the author Carla could have taken this story further, but I'm really already satisfied with what I got. So I gave it 4 stars. And the last book that I was able to read for February is the second book of the Twisted series, which is Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This one revolved around another royal story. We have Princess Bridget of Eldora and her bodyguard Riz or Rice. So this one I wasn't expecting to be this long. So the Twisted Love book was around 300 something pages, but this one is 450 pages. So I thought I would be able to finish it in one day, but it took me 3 days to complete it. So that's why my Kindle Unlimited challenge just ended up with 2 but anyway, this is my second 5 star for the month. So even though this book is quite long and quite lengthy, I really got attached to Princess Bridget and Riz. Even when I was reading Twisted Love, I was already wishing for a book for Princess Bridget and Riz. And at the latter part of that Twisted Love series, it was already teased that it was their book coming up next. And I was really, really happy about that because I love, again, famous, non-famous tropes and forced proximity tropes, especially with the bodyguard setup, the protective thing. I just love all of that. And that's what I got. There's a lot of angst here on both sides. And there's a lot of steam. Very, very, very spicy if you're into that. And there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of mystery as well. Though one of the um plot twists in this book I was already sensing like from a mile away. It didn't really affect how much I enjoyed reading this story, and I really, really loved everything about it. After all the adventures and the drama and um the growing up that Bridget had to do in this story, I just was captured and I really rooted for her. I rooted for them both, and I'm very, very happy on how the book ended up. So yeah, I noticed how much I loved Anna Wang's writing because there were a lot of highlights. My Kindle, I really did quite a bit of highlighting while I was reading this story because I really loved her writing style, and some of her lines just capture my heart so much. So yeah, I really fell in love with it. And I think it was a perfect way to end my February reading journey. So those are all the 10 books that I was able to read in February. I was really happy about it, even though some of the reads were just so. All of those stories really intrigued me. And overall, I'm just really, really happy that those were the picks that I was able to make in February. And now I'm really excited about March and the reading that I would be doing for this month. So yeah, see you then. And I hope I would be able to make more reading vlogs. So to make the chikahan, to make the experience better. But yeah, these are the books I read. Please do share with me the books that you also were able to read in February, especially the one that you love the most. And see you guys on the next video. Bye!